Yeah, good morning, everyone. Hope I'm audible and you could see my screen, online students.
Yes,
Online students, am I
yes,
audible
yes,
and you could
yes,
see my
yes.
screen, everyone? Yes, nice. Good. Okay, so where are we, guys? What are we discussing in the last class? I think we were going into each and every technology. We are getting some bit of information what actually individual technology is used for, right? So we have seen what is the use of this HTML, what is the use of CSS, what is the use of JavaScript, advanced JavaScript, ECMA, jQuery. I think I have covered till CSS3, right? I think I'm still pending with responsive pages. What do you mean by responsive? That part I'm still pending. Okay, so before that, who all are new to this class? 1, 3, 4, 5. Okay, online students, anyone new to this? I mean, today is the first class.
Yes, sir.
Today
Yes,
is the
yes,
first
yes.
class.
Today is not the class.
Okay, Mohammed,
Today is the
Deepak,
first class.
Prakash, Dalip. Okay, so guys, what I do is, okay, 1 second. Let me get the video links of the previous classes.
Yes, sir.
How do I get it here?
Sir, day 3, day 4 today.
Okay, Ramesh has already done that. Super fine. Okay, so online students, please copy the videos. I mean, whatever the earlier 3 classes been happened. As I said you already, we haven't started anything into the technology. Okay, we are just exploring the basics of it, what actually UI, a bit of information on what HTML is, CSS, etc. and all. Okay. Anyway, as I have already updated to the existing students that from Monday exactly we are going to start the subject. Okay, from Monday we are going to start the class at 8:30 till 10. And exactly we are going to start with how do you create the web pages, etc. stuff. From Monday it is going to happen. But if you want to go through the videos of what actually previous classes are, so these are the video links what actually Ramesh has pinged us. And offline students, once the class is done, come to me, I can help you in sharing these links. Clear, everyone? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, let us continue the discussion on these technologies, guys. So we were talking about all this HTML, CSS, etc. and all. So on the top, if I ask you a question, what are the only technologies a browser can understand? What are the only technologies a browser can understand, execute, and throw the response? What are those? HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. If you give anything other than these 3, it is simply throwing the code. It will not execute them. Okay, because it only understands these things. Okay, fine. Now coming to the CSS3, we saw that HTML5, some advantages are coming. As I said you, in your CSS3, there are some new animation effect stuffs like radial gradients, keyframes, stickies, grid type of systems, flexible type of items. How do you generate those? All part of your CSS3. Along with this, it supports one of the very important concept which is called as media queries. So before going with the media queries, you need to have a good idea of what do you mean by responsive pages. So you would have seen anytime you have an opening for the UI development, people will ask you, do you have an experience with responsive development? Now, what do you mean by this responsive development? What is their expectation? Responsiveness in the sense, before that, being a UI developer, obviously we are developing the web pages. Agree, everyone? Yes. Once after we develop the web pages, you know, the first challenging part being a UI developer, what we face is cross omni channels or cross devices. Okay. Earlier days, when people used to develop the web pages, it is like either laptop or monitor or some projector. That's it. But nowadays, that is what the case? No, because people are having different devices. Once you develop a web page, they may open in a tablet, they may open in a mobile, bigger screen, smaller screen, different screens. They may go with a laptop, monitor, TV, projector, hell lot of devices. They might open this web page. Now, the challenging part for the UI developer is whatever the web page you are developing, it has to render according to the device what it is occupying into. According to the device what it is occupying into. Yes or no? Now the challenging what I'm saying is the space. Now I'm opening a web page within the monitor. I have a huge space. I can show the content accordingly. But when you go with the mobile, do you have the same space over there? No. We have a lesser space. At the same time, you need to show every other content to the user. So this is where the challenging part you have. And the web page, whenever you open any of the web page, the web page is rendering according to the device. That type of web page we call it as a responsive web pages. Okay, any web page which is rendering according to the device dimensions, which we call it as responsive web pages. Let us take an example. Now I say Amazon. Okay, if I open this Amazon, this is how the web page is looking like. Let me render these guy in a smaller window. If you see here, this is how I'm opening. Assume like this is a tablet. Okay, this is how it is rendering. You tell me, is it is responsive? No, actually. Why so? If you see, I'm getting a scroll bar horizontally. User is always okay to scroll up and down vertically, but user experience is not friendly if you scroll horizontally. Agree or not? Whenever you're using in your mobile, you're okay to say up and down, but you never say this left and right. Okay, so this is not a responsive web page. Okay, let us go with another web page. Say something called as Bootstrap. Okay, Bootstrap is one of the dedicated web page. Now this is how it is rendering in case of your bigger device. Now when I go with smaller devices, when I'm decreasing the width here, is it not automatically changing? See here, by default it is having some tabs and all when it is a bigger device. When it is a smaller device, automatically converting into some menu bar and all. There is no scroll bar horizontally, but scroll bar is only vertically. So can I say that this is a responsive web page? Yes, it is a web page which is rendering according to the device dimensions automatically. Here it is not saying that, boss, if it is mobile, open a different web page. If it is desktop, open a different device. No, it is not saying that. Same web page, internally content has been added in such a way that the CSS are being added in such a way that you change the look and feel of the web page according to the dimensions of the web page. If every web page is capable of doing that, that web page is called as responsiveness. If a developer is capable of implementing this, that itself says that you got an experience with responsive development. One main thing what you need to see here is whenever you are developing a responsive web page, advantage what you have is functionality not going to be changed. Okay, JavaScript functionality will never change. Doesn't matter whether you are executing in a mobile or a tablet or a projector or a TV, execution is going to be same because backend is browser. But only the space, look and feel is going to be changed. So that is what we will be achieving using something called as media queries concept, which is being supported from your CSS3, which I will be discussing completely. Okay, so these all are the advantage what you have with your CSS3. Now coming to the next topic, what we call it as Bootstrap. Now what do you mean by this Bootstrap? It is again a CSS framework, nothing to do with the JavaScript. Remember, yesterday I was talking about Angular, React, jQuery. These all are the JavaScript frameworks and library. Background, there is JavaScript. On the top, these frameworks are coming. No JavaScript, no these type of frameworks. Okay, but coming to the Bootstrap, background is the CSS2 and CSS3. On the top, they have created a framework which we call it as a Bootstrap. Currently, the latest version is Bootstrap 5. We are going to cover that 100% in the class. Okay, now what is the use of this Bootstrap here? Bootstrap comes with predefined components. Now, what do you mean by a component? Component is individual look and feel, individual functionality of a particular thing. We call it as a component. Now, I say this text box is there, which is having some borders, which is having some icon, which is having its own functionality. That is called as a component. Now, here I have a slide bar at the bottom. Clicking on left and right, it is actually getting the slides. This is called as an individual component. At the right bottom, you have some individual boxes. These all are called as individual components. Now, what are components? Independent look and feel, which is having its own functionality, can be injected anywhere within the application to get the response out of it. Okay, repeating again, what do you mean by component? Individual look and feel, having its own functionality, which can be plugged into any of the web page to get the advantage of it, so that reusability will increase, dependency will decrease. Okay, that is what we call it as component. Now, when you come to the Bootstrap web page, if you go into components, okay, now if you see, for example, there is a simple accordion. This is what we call it as accordion. Only look into this particular box, nothing other than this. Now, under this box, there is a simple accordion. Anytime you want to create these type of look and feel, see, when you expand this, you should be able to see this. Once you click on other guy, that is getting expanded like this. So can I call this as an individual component? Yes, it is having its own look and feel with own functionality, with own CSS and all. Now, what Bootstrap is doing, it is providing such a type of predefined components. These are the very commonly used components, can be injected into multiple pages. Most of the pages you would be seeing these type of things, right? Not only these guys. Say, for example, breadcrumb. You would have seen these type of navigation in most of the web pages. You would have seen something called as carousel, which is called as page in a slideshow. See here, if at all you want to have these type of slideshows in any of your applications, see, this is an individual component. What Bootstrap is doing, I have already developed very commonly used components in my API. What you need to do is take my component, just make use of it. Being a developer, you will be getting benefited that you don't need to write the code from the very scratch. You simply make use of the component, your job is done. And one main advantage what you have with your Bootstrap is you don't need to bother about the responsiveness. Responsiveness means, come on, we just discussed, making the application to be rendered according to the device, isn't it? So that is already been taken care by with your Bootstrap. It has already taken care how it has to be in your mobile, how it has to be in your tablet or external devices. It has already taken care. If at all you have to make use, see here, you simply copy this piece of code, your application is ready with the particular component. So that is what Bootstrap is. So if there is no CSS3, there is no Bootstrap. It is just extending the existing CSS3. They have built up a framework. If you use this framework, you don't need to go with the very basic part. Just get the advantage of whatever it's already predefined. Am I clear? So that is about your Bootstrap. As I said, we will be covering the Bootstrap 5. And once I come to that level, I'll show you how to use the components, how to use the Bootstrap components in your application. Those all things we'll see. Okay, so these are the technologies. What are we going to cover in the front end part? Remember that day I have shown you front end, server, and a database. That day we have clearly seen the roles and responsibilities of a front end developer and a back end developer and a full stack developer. Remember? Now, when I say I am a front end developer in any of the organization, these are the technologies you should be for sure experienced with along with the frameworks, either React or Angular. Okay. Now, on the top, we are going with something called as back-end development. Remember that day I was saying you that there is a concept of back-end development also. We are going to cover backend also, right? Because we are full stack. Not everyone here is only for UI. We are only even for the full stack. What do you mean by full stack? Full stack in the sense you need to have an idea of server side idea also. Let me show you the design again. So anytime we develop a web page is going to be the client here, and we should have a server guy here, and we should have a database guy. What the client will do? Client will interact with server, server will interact with the database. So this is called as a client. This is called as the server. This is called as the database. Okay. Now, when I say server, what all the servers, I mean, you already get to know what all the things which comes under the client. HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, jQuery, Angular, React, everything will fall under the client side. Now, coming to the server side, what are the servers available in the market? You may go with a Java server. You may go with a Tomcat, Apache. Again, that is also Java server. We have something called as JBoss, WebLogic. We have something called as Django server. Okay, Python server. We may go with something called as Node.js server, .NET server, etc., etc. Hell lot of servers are available outside in the market. Now, if at all you have to get expertise on the server, you can go with any of the server. But you know, being a UI developer, the most suggestible server is Node.js for you all. Why so? Why only Node.js is been suggested? The reason is, once you are getting expertise on the client side, aren't you getting expertise with the JavaScript coding? Yes or no? Yes, right? We will get expertise into the core JavaScript, advanced JavaScript, all the JavaScript libraries also. Now, you got expertise into the JavaScript. If I ask you guys, okay, boss, now let us start working on the server, I will go with the Java server. If at all I say that Java server, the very first question mark what you get is, we don't have an idea of Java. We never worked on Java. Now I need to start with the core Java concepts, advanced Java concepts, Hibernate or Spring Boot, etc. stuff we need to do. Then you need to become a server-side developer, Java server-side developer. Do you really need to do this? Boss, I want to be onto the UI. Why the hell are you forcing me to go into the Java or .NET or somewhat so and so? It is not so easy for me, isn't it? That is where Node.js is the best option for you. What is Node.js? A very trending server nowadays in the market. Wherever you go, most of the people are using the Node.js as a server, especially the startups. Okay, not only startup, MNCs also. In my company, I actually work for 3 of the projects. For 2 of the projects, I'm using Node.js as a server. Another one, Spring Boot, I'm using. But for 2 of the projects, Node.js it is. Mine is an MNC company. Not only mine, any of the companies outside in the market, most of the people are opting the Node.js nowadays, because it is free to maintenance, it is no threading block, it is a single threaded, but still it could, there is no concept of blocking the user request. Hell lot of advantages are there. That is where Node.js has become so popular nowadays in the market. You know, Microsoft internally uses Node.js. Uber internally uses the server as Node.js only. So very, very big organization started making use of Node.js. Now, the main advantage what you have as a UI developer to go with Node.js is the programming language what you use inside the Node.js is JavaScript. That is one of the very, very trending part, very new thing that people have seen. There is never ever JavaScript is being used at a server side before Node.js. JavaScript is always used to fall under the client side. So Node.js is one of the very, very unique server which has startup where JavaScript is being used as a programming language. That is a very, very, very plus point for a UI developer. Earlier, before Node.js, there is a specific team for UI development, specific team for a backend development, because UI can never go into the backend because not so easy for you to learn .NET or Java or Python or so and so. But if I say server side also there is a JavaScript, can't you guys go and learn that Node.js over there? Yes. Now, if we get that idea of the Node.js, can we become a full stack developer now? Yes. That is where we are getting the advantage of this. Okay. Once you get the advantage of this Node.js. If you get to learn this Node.js, where we are using the JavaScript as a predefined programming language, it is so easy for us because we already know JavaScript. Only thing what you need to understand is how you're going to write the steps within your Node.js. As simple as it is. Clear? So the time Node.js has come into the picture, the requirements of the full stack developer has been came up, because earlier it is only UI, only backend, because UI guy never used to go into the server. But the time Node.js has come, UI guy, can you go and learn the Node.js and now become a server guy? Yes. Now you are already expertise into the UI, get expertise onto the server. Now you become a full stack web developer. Okay, so that is what Node.js is the server, what I'm going to cover in this complete training program. As I said you, I'm going to start from the scratch of the Node.js, like what is a server, what is a HTTP server, HTTPS server, how do you create web services in the Node.js, how do you create microservices in the Node.js, how do you make a Node.js server to interact with the database like external MongoDB, etc. Those things I'm going to show you. And what do you mean by sessions? I mean, when I say server, anything which falls under the server, we are going to have a look on this, including the socket API communication, chat application. So those are all things I'm going to see this, including the security of encryption, decryption, every other part which comes under the Node.js, 100% we are going to cover over here. Am I clear? Everyone? Okay. Yes. Next, under the Node.js, there is again a framework, something called as Express framework. Very popular framework, which has been released before 6-7 years, but still it is trending. There is no competitor for this Express. So Express again, it's on the top of Node.js. It's not a new technology. Okay, it is just on the top of the existing Node.js. No Node.js, no Express. Okay, so we will be using this Express framework in order to implement the things under your Node.js. So I will be covering the complete Express framework also. Any questions? Anyone? Everyone is so clear? Yes. When I say framework, doesn't matter whether it is a JavaScript framework, Java framework, .NET framework, whatever it is. What do you mean by a framework? Framework is something being developed on the top of the existing technology with all the predefined things which are being added. You as a developer make use of a framework, get advantage of it. You don't need to write the things from the scratch. Now, as I said you, Bootstrap is one of the CSS framework. Now I ask you, boss, you have to create a slideshow, something like this. Now what you need to do, you need to start with HTML tag, div tag, adding the CSS, on click, what is happening and all. Now when you go for Bootstrap framework, do you need to make use? No, simply copy this HTML, use this Bootstrap API, your job is ready. So when I say framework, comes with reusable things for you so that you use them, do the things more faster. Clear? Any other questions? Anyone regarding this Node.js and Express framework?
Express framework.
Yes or no?
Express is
no more questions? Okay, good. Online students, in future, now trending, but in future days, obviously it will be trending. That is what I said, right? Node.js has been the main advantage. What you have is, when I say JavaScript, do you see if a life without JavaScript? Can you say that, boss, there is no case of JavaScript now, you will believe JavaScript? There is a case? No. Why so? There is no case that you can't see a world without web pages. Can you see a world without web pages? No. Obviously, if it is web page, obviously JavaScript will be the part of it. Obviously, when the web page is there, JavaScript is there. Okay, point number one. Do you have any other server which is using JavaScript as a programming language? No, obviously Node.js is there. Node.js has been built around like 2009, but till now it is the only server, no competitor for this. Okay, so Sai, did I answer your question? So now, right now it is trending, and in future, until and unless there is a competitor for this, you won't be having, it will be always in trending. Okay, and one main thing, guys, if you understand any of the server, almost every server is going to have internally same type of feature. You know, like I have an idea of Node.js. I have an idea of Java earlier. Java with the JSP and servlet I used to work in my initial career. Later, there was some requirement of Spring Boot. Okay, Spring Boot. Anyone having idea of Spring Boot services? Awesome, that's good. So Spring Boot is one of the very trending and very good way of implementing the web services or microservices in Java. And in my organization, there was a requirement of Spring Boot developer, or in my project, some services need to be built. I don't know Spring Boot, but still, as I already have an idea of what server is, what web services means, how the web services will take an input, how they are going to process, etc. stuff and all. As I got a good idea, it was easy for me to take a bit of knowledge and I could able to start working on Spring Boot. I'm not saying that I'm an expertise on that, but still I can do that. Why so? I'm changing the technology, not the concept. Now, if you see, this is what we call it as concept. Client coming to the server, under the server, web services getting executed, web services internally hitting the database, getting the data, throwing back to you. This is a concept. Now, technically you go, it might be a Java server, .NET server, Python server, PHP server, whatever the server it might be, internal logic is going to be same, right? The concept is same, right? So the concept is not going to be changed. You go for any of the server, internal concepts are, the practical concept is same. The way we implement is going to be different. How you implement is almost like the same. Clear? Can you explain about Java, Spring Boot? Come on, ask the questions of .NET, Python also. Okay, so anyway, Ganesh, I can't give much information about the Java and Spring Boot here, but just to give a bit of information, JavaScript, Java, one of the very, very, very powerful server-side language, which is capable of doing hell lot of things within the network. Okay, being a server-side coding, hell lot of things will be done. And the main advantage what you have is it is cross-platform. There is nothing like specific to a particular platform. The main drawback what you have with your .NET is, can you execute the .NET instructions in a Linux box? No, it is only specific to the Windows. Okay, the output MSI file can be executed, and not MSI. DLL, I think DLL can be executed. Anyone having idea of .NET? Very nice. 2. Okay, so in your .NET we have the DLL files, right? Dynamic linkage libraries. So those things I can execute within the Linux. I'm not very much sure. That is the reason I can't comment it. But coming to the Java, you have the .class files. It can be executed across the platforms. You have idea of Java also, ma'am? That's nice. Okay, so when I go with the .class, which is your bytecode format of your Java code, which can be executed across the platform, Linux, Ubuntu, Mac, or Windows, whatever it is. That is main advantage what you have with your Java. Now, when you go with your core Java, where it is going to show some OOPS concepts, and like what actually what is the heart of the Java, like threading concepts, dictionaries, data structure, etc. will come. And when you say Spring Boot, implementation of web services using the Java is your Spring Boot framework. It is one of the very trending framework using which you can create micro web services, etc. and all. So that is what the difference between the Java and Spring Boot. So extending this question, guys, a lot of people were asking this. I think you asked this question today, and remaining all, most of your people saying that, boss, we are freshers. We are here understanding, or we are joined for this UI full stack part, etc. and all. Other than this, what do you think it is suggestible to us as a fresher? Okay, being a fresher, what are the other things you can suggest to us so that I can utilize the time here? I can go for other technology, I can learn other technology, etc. and all. Anyway, you cannot join the React or Angular now because you need to finish the UI part first. You need to finish up to at least advanced JavaScript, then only you go there. If you are a fresher, if you really have time, and if you want to increase the programming ability, one good technology what I suggest is core Java, guys. I'm really telling you, if you have some time, join for core Java. Either you do it yourself or join for any of the classes. I am not asking, this is a very strange question for you. I mean, you might feel strange saying that, boss, being a UI developer, how come you're suggesting to join for Java part and all? Question mark, right? Being a UI developer, why the reason you're asking us to join the Java and all? The only reason why I'm saying is not to get expertise onto the Java programming, just to get the theoretical knowledge of the Java programming. With my experience, I'm telling guys, I got a good idea. I'm not saying I'm expertise. I got a good idea of Python. I got a good idea of Java. I got a minimum idea of .NET, C, C++, that is the common. But the powerful language, the beautiful language Java, because of Java, my programming language standards has been increased, because it is one of the best language which uses the object orientation with a full-fledged. Agree or not, Java experts? Agree, everyone? So that is the reason I'm telling. I'm not saying that you need to get expertise on Java things and all. At least you understood what are the OOPS concept. What do you mean by interface? Why the reason that constructor is coming? What do you mean by overloading, polymorphism, abstraction, encapsulation, objects, classes, threading, dictionaries, what do you say, directives, and decorators. Hell lot of things are there. At least get comfortable theoretically. I'm not saying you need to expertise on that part and all, but at least theoretically get a good idea of the particular concepts what are being supported in your Java. Okay, again, I'm telling, I'm not forcing you to do this, but if you do this, it will really help you. One or the other time, you will feel that, okay, this is what you can compare with your Java. Even in your JavaScript also, you have classes, you have inheritance, you have extension, etc. and all. You have constructor, you have this operator, you have super keyword, etc. and all. If you have those idea, it will be very easy for you to link it. Okay, so if you have time, you want to utilize that, I don't want to waste the time and all, just join the core Java. And again, I'm telling, I know it is a complex part and it is like a very big sea. It is like hell lot of things will be there in Java. I'm not asking you to understand each and everything. Understand the theoretical part of it. Minimum knowledge. You attend for classes, minimum 60 to 70% you'll understand that. That will be more than for you. Okay, so you can take this idea. It's up to you. You can go or not. But as I said, if you want to be a very good programmer in future, it really helps you. Okay. Next, nowadays one suggests full stack Python web development. Why? Okay, so when I say Sai, if your question is, you say that one suggests you full stack Python. For me, another guy will suggest you that Java web development, Java full stack. Another guy will come with .NET development. So every other thing is having its own requirement. Okay, there is nothing like only Python is trending nowadays. Python is mostly not used on the web development. Python is for AI, artificial intelligence. Okay, if you want to go with the deeper of the data science or into the analytics part or automation part, that is where Python it will be most useful. Yes, it is also one of the very trending programming language nowadays in the market. Being a fresher, that is also one of the option. Okay, next, if I use Bootstrap link HTML head portion, then I write code in body. What if use Bootstrap elements and without use of Bootstrap element, does the web behavior responsive, sir? Once you start Galaxy, I think I already said you guys, when you're logging in, please make sure to put your names, exact names. Okay, I know that you guys are joining from the phone, but make sure you put your name. Okay, in Zoom, it is possible that you can change your name. So that is easy for me to call out your name. Okay, to answer your question, once you include the Bootstrap into an application, I mean, you say using the script tag, you include the Bootstrap mini.js, and using your link tag, you use the Bootstrap mini CSS. That doesn't mean that web application will automatically become the responsive. It will only become responsive if you start making use of the Bootstrap provided classes. Bootstrap is providing hell lot of CSS classes. If you use them, that is where it will become a responsive. Not just linking the Bootstrap will not become the responsive. Am I clear, Galaxy? Yeah. Yes or no? When you put a question, try to respond also, guys. Okay, fine. So hope everybody understood this guy. Why I come on to this? Yeah, Node.js and all, every Node.js and framework, that is what we are discussing, right? So hope everybody is so clear with 13, 14 and 15 points. What are we covering here? Everyone? Okay, next. Coming to the database, we are going to the Mongo database here. Again, it is one of the trending database nowadays. As I said you, I'm using in my organization, whatever the 3 projects I'm working, I'm making use of the MongoDB itself. Not only me, guys. I'm not saying that you have to take example of me. When you go outside, 60% of the DB people are going with the MongoDB. Why the reason? The main advantage what you have with your MongoDB is, you know, nowadays the trending data structure what you have is, can anyone? What is the trending data structure we have in the market? Come on. A trending data structure. You know that data structure? Yes. What are those?
ASCII. Now
Come on,
trending.
online students. What is the trending data structure nowadays in the market? Data structure means the guy who is capable of storing some data, right?
SQL.
Yes, right? Now, what is the trending data structure? There are lots of data structures available: stacks, queues, linked list, double linked list, circular linked list, graphs, trees, etc. Right? Now, what is the trending data structure nowadays in the market?
SQLs.
Come on, why PHP and SQL are coming? I'm not asking about the technologies. Who is that? Might be hash table. Okay, fine. Next. Hash table, the thing is, it is specific to the particular technology like Java or .NET, but I can't use the same in your JavaScript or TypeScript also. Okay. Next. Okay, I'll give a clue. Nowadays, people are not using much XML. They are using with this guy. What was that? Exactly. JSON. JavaScript object notation. JSON is one of the very trending data structure nowadays in the market. As someone said that hash table, are you agreeing or not? Yeah. So as she said, like hash table or dictionary, whatever the data you have, the same thing can be replaced even in JSON also. Agree? Any type of data you have that can be represented in a JSON object. The advantage what you have with your JSON object is inserting the data within a JSON object is so easy. Retrieving the data within a JSON object is so easy. And anything you want, it is not like, say, for example, the main disadvantage what you have with your XML is, if you have 100 nodes, I want the 9th node, I need to traverse. There are two types of traversing, sax parser and DOM parser. You need to parse that guy. You need to traverse to the particular node, then you get this data. Boss, when I want the 99th record, why I need to travel from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and all? Why don't I directly go and retrieve the data? That is what your JSON is providing. JSON is one of the predefined data structure by default started in your JavaScript. And the trending is too much that the usage is too much that not only JavaScript, even external programming languages like Java started making use of it, .NET making use of it. Java supporting JSON or not? Yes, it's supported. .NET is supporting. Python is supporting. Any other technology, lot of other technology also started making use of the JSON. But still the name is JavaScript object notation only, because initially it has been introduced in JavaScript. Later, it gone into the other, other people also started making use of it. Now, when I say this much of advantages you have with your JSON, what people have started is, if this JSON is having this much of advantage, why don't I create a database which internally uses JSON? Is it not more useful? Now you have with your DBMS, database management system, or RDBMS, relational database management system. How the data will be stored in your database? Obviously in the form of table wise, column wise and row wise. You know what is the limitation you have with that? Limitation you have with the table data. No, I'm not saying. That's a good answer. What is your answer is the maximum number of rows you can insert and the maximum number of columns. I think you're ready for the interview. Good to know that numbers. Okay. Now my expectation is, what are the disadvantage? I can't say the word as disadvantage. That is the reason I'm calling it as limitation. What are the limitation with your data, RDBMS table type of data? Joins, obvious. Yeah, joins is one of the limitation. If you have different type of data, you need to write multiple tables and you need to put the outer join or inner join, or a lot of things has to be done. Next. Okay, the main limitation what you have with your table data is, let us take an example. I have 100 students, assume in a school. I'm going into a school. I want to store some 100 students data. I will say student name, serial number, age, gender, and marks. I want to take the PAN number and the passport number. assume among the 100 students, only 2 students are having this PAN number and the passport number. Not every student will have, right? At least at the college level. Now, when I'm storing these data for all the students with our 100 students, remaining 98 students still need to have that column. Yes or no? At the same time, they need to pull some null data. Then what I'm saying is, if they don't have the data, why the reason you are changing that? I mean, you are still having that structure in this. So what your table says that every record within a single table should have the same type of structure. Values might be different. Agree? Every row within the table should have the same structure. Values might be different. But when you come to the JSON, that is where advantage. As it is a JSON object, you store 100 records within a single table. In JSON, we don't call it as a table, we call it as a collection. Inside that, not every record should have the same structure. You can have different structure. Advantage 1. Second advantage, before creating a table in your database, do you need to specify the schema? I need to say that, right? Create table, username, what is the data type, varchar or integer, whatever it is. You need to specify the schema before making use of the particular table, isn't it? But coming to the JSON, it is schemaless. You don't need to specify the data structure before. You can simply insert any type of data for any type of key. So these are some of the advantages what you get using your MongoDB and using your JSON. So what MongoDB has done, it is one of the database which has directly used JSON itself as a data structure while storing the data. Okay, so I will be talking about the complete MongoDB, how to insert, I mean, from the starting step of history, installation, creating, inserting records, etc. things and all. At the same time, I even show you individually. First of all, we'll see what is Node.js. Individually, first of all, we'll see what is database. Now, individually, I will show you how to create a communication from the server to the node, to the MongoDB. I'll show you how to put a communication. So from the client side, we'll see that get the product details. From the client, it will go to server. From the server, it will go to the database. It will retrieve the data. It will show to you. These all things we are going to have a look. Okay, when I talk, I mean, these are deeper discussions, web services, etc. But I'm going to come over there. Any questions? Understood, everyone?
Yes,
okay,
sir.
and on the top, if you are interested, boss, if you can show me how do we even connect with SQL Server, etc. and all. If you have the software, I can help out even showing, because that is a simple 5 lines of instruction. 5 lines of instruction to get a connection to the particular database. Either it could be Mongo, SQL, Access, any database you want, you can simply create a connection out of it. Clear, everyone? Okay, next. So coming to the tools, guys, these are the tools what we will be covering in the class. I'm going to talk about what is the GitHub code repository. I have already shown you. We have a code repository. Everyday classes, whatever we are going to discuss, I'm going to submit in the Git, and those things will be shared with you. Okay, and one more question, guys. Who all already got registered? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, you got registered. Once you got registered, but I don't see you guys in the Telegram group. Why so? Have you pinged Mr. Ramesh? Did he replied? No, it is expected, but please ping him again. Okay, so actually he deals with a lot of batches. So anyone who get registered, you already have Mr. Ramesh, who is our admin for our batch. Ping him and ask him you to get added to the Telegram group. I have already created a Telegram group. He is the admin for that. So he will add you. Once you are into the Telegram group, then I will take your email ID and I will give you a collaborator access for the GitHub. I think yesterday I have given 2 assignments. First one is register Telegram. Everybody is ready with installation? Everybody? Awesome, nice. You already have the Telegram ID also. Unique ID. Go into the settings. You will see the Telegram ID, which is @so-and-so. Keep ready with that. Next, the second thing is GitHub sign up. Who all got a chance to do that? Sign up. Come on, guys. What happened? What about others? Get ready with this, guys. That time I ask you, boss, give me the email ID so that I can make you as a collaborator. You should not say that, no, boss, I need to create it. It will be delayed. Okay. Take some time, just 5 minutes or 10 minutes of time. That's it. Open github.com. Just sign up. Only sign up. After sign up, you should be able to log in also. Am I clear? Okay, so get ready with those two things, guys. And today's another thing is, so these are the tools what we'll be discussing. We'll be talking about the GitHub. We'll be talking about the debugging tool. How do you debug the JavaScript code? What are you going to write within the browser? How to add the breakpoints? How to go to step-by-step execution? Those things I'm going to talk in the debugging tool. And I even talk about a GitHub desktop tool using which you can actually, one main thing what I forgot is Postman. Okay, Postman also I'll be covering, but anyway, GitHub desktop is one of the interface to interact with the Git, and Mongo Compass is again an interface to interact with your MongoDB. Postman is one of the very, very popular tool used to check your web services, whether my web services is, what are the inputs it is taking, those things we'll be talking in your Postman. So these all are the tools what I'm explaining. One main thing I want to clear, guys, yesterday also some of you have responded saying that, boss, I mean, when you're talking about this technology like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, programming and all, we are very much new. This is the very first time I'm listening this. As I'm giving the medium information of each and every technology, I'm using this terminologies here. But anyway, once I start the exact course, there I'm going to start from the very, very, very scratch, guys. You don't need to get scared. Don't say that, boss, I don't know what is Oracle, what is DB, what is columns, what is, forget about this. As a demo, I'm just giving a broader picture of each and everything, but we actually go to the technology, right? From Monday, when I'm going to start the things, I will be starting from very, very basic. What is HTML? What is a tag? How do you create a page? Each and everything will be discussed in depth and in deep and in simple way. Okay, don't get scared out of it. Okay, the time when I start from Monday, now if you say that you're getting a confusion, then you need to come to me and talk to me. Clear, everyone? Okay, so this is about the tools, and I already said you that we are going to talk even about a mini project. We are going to do the project based on whatever the technologies we have done in the class. I'm going to give you the mock-up and you need to develop the things of your project. I'm going to provide the support for the project. As I already made you clear, I'm not going to give any CDs or mail saying that this is a project. You need to do the project. I will help you for doing each and everything. Okay, and I think I already gave you a clear idea of what is, I mean, how I'm going to give you the notes, etc. and all, notes and assignments and interview questions, everything will be GitHub. Once you get an access for the GitHub, obviously you will get access to all the soft copies of notes, etc. and all. But one main thing I want to tell you guys, as you are my students, I trust you and I give you the access. Please make a good use of it. Okay, I have seen some people that taking the notes and selling it the notes for the like Xerox centers. They are taking the copies, and I mean, you know, one day, like I have seen from other institute guy has got one of the notes. Luckily he was my friend, and when I see that, it is my notes, and not only mine, other faculties notes also. So make a good use of it, guys. When it is education, make it proper. Okay, ethically be, I mean, ethically be true to yourself. Okay, so once you get a collaborator, you will get access to each and every part. I will give you the 3 versions of the notes. It's up to you which one you feel comfort. You can actually go with that. Clear, everyone? Okay, so let's sign off for today, guys. We'll meet again back on tomorrow. Tomorrow I will talk some more discussions on this, and from Monday I'm going to start with actual concepts. Okay, have a good day. Bye for today.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Hello. Hello.
Sir is gone. Sir, వెళ్ళిపోయాడు బ్రదర్.
బ్రో, హలో.
చెప్పండి బ్రో.
యాక్చువల్గా అంటే నేను ఆన్లైన్ తీసుకుంటున్నాను మ్యాథ్స్. ఇప్పుడు అతను ఫుల్ స్టాక్ మొత్తం అది కాకుండా రియాక్ట్ ఉన్నది కదా బ్రో.
చెప్పండి వినపడుతుంది, చెప్పండి.
కొంచెం నెంబర్ సెండ్ చేస్తాను, మీది కాల్ చేస్తాను.
నాది చెప్తాను. 9666
1 minute.
చౌదరి
36 9666
36 4730.
4730. ఓకే బ్రో, ఐ కెన్ కాల్.
అంటే మామూలుగా ఏంటిది ప్రాబ్లం ఏం చెప్పు.
యాక్చువల్గా ఇది
చెప్పండి.
యాక్చువల్గా ఇప్పుడు ఫుల్ స్టాక్ మొత్తం చెప్తున్నాడు కదా. ఇప్పుడు నేను యూజర్ ఇంటర్ఫేస్ ఓన్లీ ఫ్రంట్ ఎండ్ వరకే జాయిన్ అయ్యాను. అది ఎలా మేనేజ్ చేస్తారు మేబీ?
దేని మీద ఫ్రంట్ ఎండ్ అంటే రియాక్ట్ యాంగులర్
రియాక్ట్ తీసుకున్నాను.
నేను కూడా రియాక్ట్ చేసుకున్నా, సేమ్ డౌట్ నాకు కూడా.
అదే ఆ డౌట్ నేను సార్ ఇప్పుడు మీరు ఆన్లైన్ తీసుకుంటున్నారు, ఎక్కడి నుండి తీసుకుంటున్నారు మేబీ?
నేను ఖమ్మం ఉన్నాను, ఖమ్మం.
ఓకే. నాది యాక్చువల్గా ఒంగోలు.
ఒంగోలు
ప్రెసెంట్ బెంగళూరులో ఉన్నాను. ఒంగోలు నాది యాక్చువల్గా.
అంటే ఎట్లా వర్క్ చేస్తున్నారా?
లేదు, ప్రెసెంట్ ఏం లేదు, ఖాళీ.
కాకపోతే సెర్చింగ్ ఫర్ జాబ్ అన్నమాట. ఓకే, అయితే
మీ ఇద్దరు ఫస్ట్ నుంచి వింటున్నారా అండి? మీ ఇద్దరు ఫస్ట్ నుంచి వింటున్నారా అండి?
లేదండి, ఈ రోజు ఫస్ట్ క్లాస్.
అసలు చాలా స్పీడ్ చెప్తున్నారు కదా సార్. అసలు
అదే డౌట్ కూడా నాకే ఉంది.
కూడా ఇవ్వట్లేదు.
ఫాస్ట్ చెప్పేస్తున్నాడు సార్. మరి
అదే కొంచెం స్లో అయితే బాగుంటది. సబ్జెక్ట్ ఉంది బట్ స్లో అయితే బాగుంటది.
అవును, కొంతమంది
ఈ రోజే ఫస్ట్ క్లాస్ ఎవరెవరిదండి? ఈ రోజే ఫస్ట్ క్లాస్ వింటున్నారు.
రవి, నా పేరు రవి.
అంటే నాది కూడా ఈ రోజే ఫస్ట్ క్లాస్ అన్నమాట. సో అందుకనే
కొంతమంది ఏం చేస్తారంటే, కొంతమందికి స్పీడ్ గా అర్థమవుతుంది, కొంతమంది స్లో అర్థమవుతుంది. రెండింటిని కంపేర్
కొంచెం చిన్నగా అర్థమవుతుంది
ఫ్రెండ్స్. ఇంత ముందు
అట్లీస్ట్ మిడిల్ లో చెప్పినా అందరం అర్థం చేసుకుంటాం కదా.
అదే సార్ ఫాస్ట్ చెప్తున్నారు. మరి
చాలా ఫాస్ట్.
యాక్చువల్ గా ఆన్లైన్ వాళ్ళకి ఛాన్సెస్ ఇవ్వడం లేదు.
హలో,
ఆల్రెడీ వర్కింగ్ చేసే వాళ్ళకైతే బాగా సిక్ అవుతారు కదా.
ఆల్రెడీ వర్కింగ్ చేసే వాళ్ళకైతే తొందరగా
సిక్ అవుతారు, మనకి ప్రాబ్లం అయితే.
కొంచెం ఈయన వేరే క్లాస్ ఉంది సార్. చెప్పండి బ్రదర్.
మధురై
కాదు బ్రదర్, నేను ఫస్ట్ నుంచి వింటున్నాను.
ఫస్ట్ క్లాస్ నుంచి
వింటున్నాను. కొంచెం కాకపోతే అర్థమవుతుంది కానీ, ఐ మీన్ దాన్ని ఏమంటారంటే ఫస్ట్ డెమో క్లాసెస్ కదా, అందుకని స్పీడ్ గా చెప్పేస్తుండ్రు.
లేకపోతే సార్ రిక్వెస్ట్ చేయొచ్చు, అడగొచ్చులేండి.
ఇది యాక్చువల్ గా ఏంటంటే వాళ్ళకి పీరియడ్ ఉంటది కదా, డెమో క్లాస్ కాబట్టి వాళ్ళు తొందరగా చెప్పేసుకుంటారు.
వేరే క్లాస్ ఉన్నారా లేదంటే ఆఫీస్ ఉందా ఆయనకి? కొంతమంది వర్క్ చేసుకుంటూ కూడా క్లాసులు చెప్తున్నారు.
ఈయన 11 అన్నారు, 11 కి వర్క్ ఉంటది అన్నారు.
లేదు బ్రదర్, డెమో వీడియోస్ అట్లే చెప్తారు.
వర్క్ ఫ్రమ్ హోమే కాబట్టి
డెమోస్ వీడియోస్ అలానే చెప్తారు బ్రదర్.
ఓకే, అవును,
డెమోస్ ఎవరైనా అలానే చెప్తారు. సార్ కంటెంట్ బాగానే ఉంది.
అవును.
ఇందాక ఒక డౌట్ అడిగారు కదా, ఫ్రంట్ ఎండ్ అది రియాక్ట్.
అవును బ్రదర్, అదే ఎనీ సొల్యూషన్.
అంటే మీరు ఎక్కడ వెళ్ళి ఫ్రంట్ ఎండ్ చేయాలనుకుంటున్నారా, బ్యాక్ ఎండ్ వెళ్దాం అనుకుంటున్నారా?
ఫ్రంట్ ఎండ్ రియాక్ట్ చేస్తుంది.
ఫ్రంట్ ఎండ్ అన్నప్పుడు మనం HTML ఇవి నేర్చుకున్న తర్వాత దాంపాటు ఫ్రేమ్ వర్క్ అనమాట ఇది రియాక్ట్ అనేది. లైబ్రరీస్ ఇస్తుంది. రియాక్ట్ అన్న నేర్చుకోవచ్చు, లేదంటే యాంగులర్ అని నేర్చుకోవచ్చు. రెండిట్లో ఏదైనా ఒకటి.
యాక్చువల్గా ఇక్కడ ఫుల్ స్టాక్ లో నోట్ చేసి చెప్పాడు కదా ఫ్రేమ్ వర్క్. దట్స్ వై బ్రో. అంటే ఇప్పుడు అతను మాకెలా కవర్ చేస్తారు? ఇప్పుడు మీకు నోట్ చేసి చెప్పినప్పుడు మీరు ఫుల్ స్టాక్ జాయిన్ అయ్యారు అనుకో, మేము ఫ్రంట్ ఎండ్ వరకే జాయిన్ అయ్యాము. ఇప్పుడు ఆఫ్టర్ HTML, CSS, మిగతా జావా స్క్రిప్ట్ యాజ్ ఏ సేమ్. దెన్ ఇప్పుడు రియాక్ట్ వచ్చేసరికి ఎలా మేనేజ్ చేస్తారు మీ క్లాసెస్, మా క్లాసెస్?
రియాక్ట్ కావాలంటే రియాక్ట్ క్లాస్ ఏమంటాడు, యాంగులర్ కావాలంటే యాంగులర్ క్లాస్ ఏమంటాడు.
అప్పుడు డిఫరెంట్ టీచర్స్ వస్తారా మేబీ?
కవర్ చేస్తాడు. మరి ఫ్రంట్ ఎండ్ బ్యాక్ ఎండ్ రెండు చెప్తాడు ఆయన.
ఒక్క నిమిషం చెప్తే వింటున్నారా?
చెప్పండి.
జస్ట్ మనకి రియాక్ట్ యాంగులర్ చెప్పాడు, మిగతా అన్ని చెప్తారు. ఏది నోట్ చేసి ఎక్స్ప్రెస్ చేసి మనం డిబ్బి బ్యాక్ ఎండ్ చెప్తాడు. HTML చెప్పేస్తాడు. రియాక్ట్ యాంగులర్ అనేది మనం వేరే సార్ ద్వారా చేయొచ్చు, లేదంటే ఈ సార్ ఏమైనా బ్యాచెస్ ఉంటే జాయిన్ కావాలి.
టుమారో అయినా క్లాస్ మళ్ళా ఉందా లేకపోతే లేదా?
ఉంది, రేపు 27 దాకా ఉంది.
27 దాకా. ఓకే. అతను యాక్చువల్ గా క్లాస్ ఆన్లైన్ వాళ్ళు ఇప్పుడు మనం రెస్పాండ్ అంటే మెసేజ్ చేసినా కూడా అతను లేదు,
రిప్లై ఇవ్వట్లేదు.
అంటే
మెసేజ్ చేసిన క్వశ్చన్స్ అడిగినా రిప్లై ఇవ్వడం లేదు.
యాక్చువల్ గా నిన్న చేసాము, నేను చేసిన తర్వాత కూడా లేదు.
మేబీ వన్స్ జాయిన్ అయిన తర్వాత రిప్లై ఇవ్వచ్చు అనుకుంటున్నాను.
మినిమం ఇవ్వాలి కదండి.
చాలా అక్కడ ఉంటారు కదా, మళ్ళీ బ్యాచ్ ఉంది కదా, లైవ్ బ్యాచ్ ఉంది, ప్లస్ మన ఆన్లైన్.
యాక్చువల్ గా మీరు అదే నిన్న రమేష్ అనే అతను ఉన్నాడు, అతను మెసేజ్ చేసినా కూడా రెస్పాండ్ లేదు. ఎప్పుడో చేస్తాడు.
అవర్ బ్రదర్, నేను కూడా నరేష్ వేరే కోర్స్ తీసుకున్నాను. వాళ్ళు చాలా
ఇంకా శ్రీకాంత్ అని ఉంటాడు.
వన్స్ పేమెంట్ చేసిన అంటే ఈ తొందర రిప్లై ఇస్తాడు, అయిపోతుంది అనమాట. చాలా మంది ఉంటారు కదా.
ఇది టెలిగ్రామ్ గ్రూప్ లో వాళ్ళకి కాల్ చేసి ఇట్లా యాడ్ చేయండి అంటే యాడ్ చేస్తారా టెలిగ్రామ్ గ్రూప్ లో?
ఇప్పుడు చేయరు.
అట్లా
ఆఫ్టర్ ఫీజు కట్టిన తర్వాత
ఏంటి?
యాడ్ చేస్తారు. ఏదైనా రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ అయిపోయిన తర్వాతనే దేంట్లోనే యాడ్ చేస్తారు. టెలిగ్రామ్ గ్రూప్ అయినా లేదంటే దీంట్లో వీడియోస్ అని. విత్ వీడియోస్ అన్నారా వితౌట్ వీడియోస్ 2 ఫీజులు ఉన్నట్టున్నాయి ఇందులో.
అంటే నార్మల్ గా ఈ 3 days వరకు డెమో క్లాసే కదా?
ఈ 27th వరకు డెమో క్లాస్, 28th
రేపు మండే నుంచి
మండే